Hi, welcome to Professor Kev's show. I get my friends from Future Minds Inc. with us. Good afternoon, guys. Ty, why don't you
Well,
start
good afternoon.
introducing yourself first, then we'll jump into your friend. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Buzbal. I'm 17 years old. I'm a junior at Methuen High School and have the great privilege to also attend Mr. Kevin's professor business class. It's great. I mean, we founded Future Minds just a couple years ago, and now we're in over 170 districts supporting youth mental health.
Awesome.
Hi everyone. I'm Tenzin Mahmud. I'm also 17. I'm a junior at Methuen High. I have the great privilege to work with Ty over the past year, a year and a half on Future Minds. I'm also the co-founder of Future Minds. And yeah, this is an initiative that we both took after we saw like the struggles and the rising concerns about mental health. So yeah, it's great to be here in Mr. Kevin's show. So yep.
As you know, Ty, this is a cause I really care about because unfortunately, as a professor, I see it firsthand where students, are in class and then they just disappear, or, we're at the end of the semester and all of a sudden stress level gets really high, especially group projects where someone's not doing their share. It's interesting to see. And I feel bad because, as much as I want to help, sometimes you're trying to figure out what's the best way to do that.
Mhm.
And again, being 60 and you're 17, sometimes the things I think just aren't necessarily relevant anymore. You're kind of, thanks for trying, Kev, but that was helpful 30 years ago, but not really
Mhm.
helpful today. So talk to us a little bit about, what you're doing to help with this issue.
For sure. So Future Minds Inc., the way that we function is that we first create relationships with schools and then help support existing resources. Because the main key theme that we realize across Massachusetts is that Massachusetts is great. We have like a lot of programs with Cartwheel and Massachusetts Partnerships for Youth and all these great resources that are there to help students and help teachers help students. But people just don't really know about them. And sometimes maybe they do know about it, but the issue of stigma poses a great barrier for people to access these resources in the first place. Um, so we, we're there to advertise these resources, destigmatize the topic, and kind of just get the word more out there. But sometimes even getting the word out there isn't enough because just with these statistics, it's crazy and it's really heartbreaking that so many students are suffering in silence. So there's a great advisory council at MHS, which is run by Mr. Crocker, who is the leading expert in mental health. So just like the one at MHS, we hope to create those in other schools as well, where students can come together, have an expert with them, or an advisor, such as a counselor, where they can bounce off ideas to have more resources and to have different projects like having Think Fast Interactive, which did this really fun and interesting game show that talks about mental health and talks about pop culture to kind of like resonate with students. Um, and other like activities are like going to the NAN Project Summit and supporting the Connections curriculum. Those are all methods to help just support the overall ecosystem around mental health to just get more students the support that they really need.
Can you talk to me more about this stigma issue? Because that's what I see a lot, is that there may be, things trying to help, but then students feel like, well, if I reach out to my professor or, someone at the school,
Mhm.
will they pass judgment on me? Will it be seen badly? So sometimes students are like, I'm not going to do that. How do we get past that? I guess that's my biggest question.
Yeah, yeah. So stigma has always been like this large problem that's always been a hindrance to so many solutions. And I think that the real key solution is creating youth leaders. And that's also a function of creating advisory councils, is that these students are not just like leading these initiatives, but they're also becoming like beacons for other students. So creating these advisory councils allows students to rise up as leaders, and then their friends can see that, okay, wait, my friend is partaking in like these supportive environments are like helpful to mental health and are actually like they're fun even. That allows that to just support that culture of seeking help. Otherwise, it's just no one's doing anything. We're all stuck in our own little bubble. But just breaking that bubble, creating like these individuals who can really just bring up that culture, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense and stuff. So,
Mhm.
all right, crystal ball time. What are we hoping to accomplish in the future?
Zim, you want to kind of talk about that?
So, we discuss a lot about what we want to do in the future, and as of right now, we're in 117 districts all across Massachusetts. And for certainly for in the future, we really want to expand our impact and also how we approach students. So we not only because we already start out to give school with basic framework and also guidance for mental health, but we also want to expand beyond that. We want to have a very strong social media presence because I feel like social media can be overwhelming, especially with students, and that is a big platform where we can capitalize and give out resources for free. So that is one of the ways that we can expand on our future growth strategy. So.
Yeah.
So, what's been the feedback so far out of these 117 districts? What's the common theme just saying what support are students looking for?
Yeah, I can take that. So, adding on to what Zim said, a lot of students are kind of coming to us and saying that I mean, it's our support is helpful, but a lot of the time it's more of a monetary issue, so which kind of aligns to how we want to grow in the future, and that's applying to a greater amount of grants. We did apply to a few, but just because of our size and our expertise, like it's
Mhm.
very hard to get grants nowadays, especially in the current economical climate that
Mhm.
we're in. So we're just going to continue to nail down on some local funding as well. We've also received funding from they're known as the Freemasons group at the lodge in Methuen. And so it just seems like local funding is a lot more helpful for us. So we're going to continue to work with that and support these groups more financially if we can do that.
What's the
Yeah.
best way? I'm Sky. You want to jump in?
One thing to add is that Future Minds also worked with MHPSAC, and MHPSAC has helped. We have helped MHPSAC in requiring a $10,000 grant,
Mhm.
which would be going towards a lot of initiatives that we'd be taking, whether it be as our high school, it already shows Think Fast Interactives and also drunk driving. We're also planning on utilizing the grant money and as to how we can grow, spread the impact. So
Awesome. What's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can I learn more, especially if they want to provide some funding?
Mhm.
that's a
We
great
have a
question.
Yeah, we have our website at futuremindsinc.org. We also have the email at futuremindsinc@gmail.com. My email, tayyafzal@gmail.com, can also be helpful as well.
Do you want to jump in and share anything else? All right.
Um, One thing I would say is that we are working on our social media account, and that one is also going to be a huge impact because as we increase, we're also going to be spending a lot of like our time on social media, and that's one way that we want to help really set up like a direct links to everything where people can help to spread the cause and yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're also working on merchandising as well. So we hope that for that to also be another revenue source, so we can be a little bit more self-sufficient by just working on selling different clothes, like selling hoodies and shirts. That way we can make some nice revenue. But yeah, what also I want to talk about, if you don't mind, is
Of course.
kind of what sets us apart is we're more youth-led. So our motto is kind of like for youth, from youth. So a lot of other organizations are made from large executives and experienced people. So as students, it also helps us to resonate more with other students. So that's also kind of like what helps us, connect with students. And our merchandise line, we also want that to be in there, is that it can resonate like a message and like the look of it to be very um, you know, culturally appropriate for, our generation.
As you know from class, I believe that's how it gets solved. It's students
For sure.
helping other students. It
Yeah.
just is. I mean, anyone who doesn't see that, I'm like, I
Mhm.
see it clear as day. So I appreciate you both taking a few minutes to come on the show. And as always, thanks for being my
Thank you. Thank you so much.